and welcome to the Financial Planning Association's annual conference here in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm Emily Smykel with Investopedia's Advisor Insights, and I'm speaking with Hannah Moore today. Hannah, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself first?
Sure, I'm a certified financial planner, and I am a financial planner and owner of Guiding Wealth Management in Dallas, Texas.
Okay, great. So today we're talking about non-traditional financial planning. So not all clients are the same. Some of them have some very specific concerns and needs. Thinking about your non-traditional financial planning clients, what are some of their main concerns when it comes to estate planning, life insurance, and maybe their tax situation?
You know, I think especially when we're looking at estate planning and life insurance, it's really making sure that the people that they care about are taken care of well, and, in the event of their death, or, the best case or the worst case, and often death is the worst case scenario. And so that's just really being very transparent and just identifying, what would you want to happen, and then making sure that your wishes are reflected in your estate planning documents and your wishes are reflected in your life insurance, and making sure that the beneficiaries are right and all of the pieces are in place.
Yeah, absolutely. And so what about the tax side of things? Do you deal with some special tax situations?
Yes, there's always special tax situations on this, and sometimes it may make sense on paper for various options, so sometimes it makes sense for couples to get married because there are benefits to doing that from a tax standpoint, but obviously your life should dictate. Your life needs to run your life, not your money driving your life decisions like that. So, there are some various options on taxes and who claims what deductions and who pays for what. Those are all factored into that. So especially if you have somebody who earns a lot more than the other one, there's a lot of different things that you can do to help minimize their taxes in order to keep the most money in their pocket.
Okay, great. Let's talk more specifically about same-sex couples. I know you work with some same-sex couples. What are some of their issues they face when it comes to estate planning or financial planning in general?
So, some of the big issues are just the legal aspects of it. So, making sure that they have a medical power of attorney and that it's easily accessible, and the legal power of attorney, and just really walking through all the steps. So, by default, a lot of spouses have rights, and so these same-sex couples need to make sure that they're explicitly giving those rights to the other person, whereas I think in a lot of situations it's just assumed that spouse would have it.
I see. That makes sense. And so sometimes we see readers on Investopedia, and you probably deal with clients who are in long-term partnerships, but they don't intend to marry. Maybe they're not able to marry, or for whatever reason they're just not going that route. Do you give them some specific advice for that situation?
Yeah, so for me it's all about expectations, and so it's how do we get those expectations on the table. So this is really with any client, but especially those clients who don't have plans to get married, is what do they expect? Is it a joint with money? I have married couples who keep everything separate and everything. They have their own systems of doing it, but we just want to lay everything out on the table, because really where I find the struggle comes in is when expectations aren't met. And so can we name what those expectations are, so that when there are unmet expectations, we have a way of addressing and dealing with that. So I think that's kind of the main gist of that.
I imagine you end up facilitating a lot of very open and honest conversations between couples, because at some point they have to talk about this, but maybe they were avoiding it up until now.
Yeah, it's never good to avoid your finances on this. Find somebody that you trust. There are advisors out there that are terrible at dealing with these types of things, that just really want to manage your investments. But if you find a really good financial planner, they can help you navigate this and really give you tools to help you articulate, what do you want to happen? Even if, it's your long-term partner and something does happen to you. What do you want to happen to your stuff? Should they be the ones to get that, or do you want that to revert back to their family? And just making a plan so that there's no surprises. That's really my goal when I work with clients. How can we make it so there's no surprises? So there's not the angst and the turmoil that can happen, especially when money gets involved.
Absolutely. Okay, well, Hannah, thank you so much for joining us today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.